In this video, I upgraded our town with 4 automatic farms, including a kelp farm, bamboo farm, and a cactus farm, which we need to ensure we get plenty of emeralds. I also built a very special farm, which if you want to see, stick around until the end. But right now, we need to get gathering materials, so let's jump into it. And there we have it. We've gathered everything we need for all of the farms. Let me take you through everything that I got. So I got a bunch of oak logs. We had a few spruce logs left over, and I got some oak leaves. And basically we have all the wood I think we're going to need for these builds. I went and cooked up a bunch of glass. We have a bunch of cobbled deep slate and a bunch of cobblestone as well. And I did go around finding some cactus, some kelp, and some bamboo. And no word of a lie, bamboo... that wasn't too hard to find. I mean, I got pretty lucky with the portal in the nether that I placed. That was just a shot in the dark and it paid off. The cactus, however, that took me the best part of 3 whole hours to find. I, no word of a lie, have probably traveled anywhere from 8 to 10 to 12,000 blocks in this world just to find cactus. Probably even more. And when I finally found it, I was so happy. I'll be honest, I actually cheered when I finally got it because that felt so rewarding after having gone so far to find it. And the funny part is it was only 2,000 blocks away. So with all that said, why don't we grab everything we need for this? Let's go. And I've gathered up everything that I think we're going to need for the first farm. I've got some cobbled deep slate, some cobblestone, we've got some spruce planks, some oak logs, a few lanterns, the kelp obviously, observers, pistons, and a little bit of sand, which I think is everything we're going to need for this farm. However, the most important part is actually where we want to place it. And I'm thinking we probably put it somewhere around this side of the village. Specifically then, I think we could put a pathway that leads between the chest area and the kelp farm here. We can also have it just slightly down from the portal so we're not encroaching on that area when we finally pad out the pathway and add some decoration to it. And it will just really nicely tie into the whole dock situation because obviously a kelp farm probably needs to be by the ocean. So I think this is as good a spot as any. And I'm going to jump us straight into a time lapse and start building. See you in a minute. And just like that, we have an automated kelp farm set up and built. And I have to admit, it wasn't easy. I spent probably about an hour trying to get this thing to work off my own back. I figured I'm an all right Minecrafter. I know how to build an automatic kelp farm, right? Wrong. I had no clue what I was doing. And I ended up having to head on YouTube and found a really useful tutorial, which I will drop down in the description below. I did, however, customize it myself to try and match what we have in the rest of the world, and I added on these little outside panels. So these aren't part of the farm itself, but they just kind of, well, you can see the kelp in there, and I really like that because the actual automated part is in the center here, and everything's kind of hidden away, which isn't what I really wanted from this. You can see we've already got some kelp coming in, and I do have to eventually terraform back here. I think I'm going to extend it out because obviously we're going to add on a harbor in the future. However, I'm super happy with how this came together. I've got the white wooden block matching how we have on the other builds. I've been a little bit more reserved with the amount of leaves that I use because I felt I was kind of covering the other builds a bit too much. We have our spruce fences with some hanging lanterns, some glowstone inside, some spruce trapdoors on here. I'm just really happy with it. And I wasn't sure how the roof would end up looking because I have these sort of jet out bits here, but stepping it outwards, I think it really, really worked well. I'm super happy with it. So with that completed, I think it's time that we move on to the next farm we have. And I think, well, that's going to be our bamboo farm. So I'm going to pick another spot for that. And let's jump into another build. And I've hopped back into the chest room. I've just been gathering up everything I think we need. Just double checking I've not left anything. I might grab a little bit extra redstone dust. But overall, this next farm doesn't need too many items. And please, I'm sorry that this is such a mess. I have been dumping all of the useful items into these chests. And there is good reason for that, because this chest room is actually broken. If you watched the last video, I put quite a bit of time into this, and well, it's not broken, it does function. However, I've realized there is a much better way to do it, so we will be returning to the chest area at some point and tearing down the entire interior, which really hurts to say. But we'll do more on that later on. For now, let me just grab the rest of the items I think we're going to need, and then let's head on over to where we want to build. And in regards to where I kind of want to build this, I've been having a think, because obviously we have this area of the town is really nicely built up, and down there now we've added in the kelp farm. We're starting to expand off in that direction, and I was kind of thinking we maybe want to start expanding in this direction so that we sort of push out the border of the town and start to shape it. And then once we've done that, we can work our way in and sort of build this central area later on. So with that said, obviously we do have the pumpkin farm down here, which is, I think that's where that's going to stay for good. I'm thinking one of these two areas could be where the bamboo farm is. Maybe this one, because if we put it here and then we build up the pumpkin farm, maybe it feels a little bit too tight and a bit encroached upon. So I'm thinking this could be a really good spot. And then eventually maybe we even do something with this lake. We tear down this, start to expand around. Yeah, I think that's a really solid decision to put it here. And it should really help to start adding some sort of depth and some wider borders to the town. And at some point when this is all finished, I can't wait to show you guys what it looks like at night from above with all the lanterns and everything. I've had a few chances to just see how it looks, and it is really, really awesome how it's all coming together. So I think a few more episodes on, a couple months down the line, and we're going to be in a solid spot with this. So yeah, let's build it here, and I'm going to jump into that. And just like so, our bamboo farm is finally finished. Now, I'm pretty happy with how this looks. I may make some changes to it at a later date. I think maybe the roof could tear up a little bit more. Looks a little bit flat at the minute. Overall, though, the rest of the build I'm pretty happy with. So what I've done here is, again, I'll drop the link in the comments for this one if you guys want to build it. But essentially, there are 4 sections to this, all of which are collecting bamboo. And whenever one of them grows tall enough, then all of them are triggered so that they all break. And hopefully this is going to get us all the bamboo Why is there a floating tree here? Oh, we'll deal with that later. This should get us all the bamboo that we need. You probably saw I've already been using some scaffolding, which has been super helpful. I don't know how I got this far without using it. But overall, it is coming together super nicely. I think this one looks great. Once we eventually do change the roof down the line, that might give it a little bit more character. But as it stands, this is perfect for a bamboo farm. You can see we've got some bamboo growing on the sides as well to show you what it is. I think this one's come together really nicely, and it ties in super well with some of the other builds we've got. I might take a little bit of the leaves off, because one thing I am kind of seeing now I'm going around here is that this blends in with the mountain behind. The other thing we could do, and I don't know if you guys have been keeping up to date with Hermitcraft, or you'll probably hear me mention that quite a lot, but I do watch it pretty regularly. Something Mumbo's been doing recently is they essentially have been putting in these pillars of stone sort of around the hill, around his base. And I'm not sure how to describe it, but that terraforming then here, I think could work really well because the stone would allow this to maybe pop off of it a little bit. So rather than things getting lost in the hillside, maybe down the line, we could look at terraforming it. And by doing that, that could really help. And I just wanted to take a quick break because we have to honor the people that have commented in the last video. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm not enchanting this. I need the anvil. So we are going to be giving a diamond to Sergio. We're also going to be giving a gold ingot to Zombie Cat Gamer. Now, I have been thinking about this. We probably want to make a room at some point for all of these because we just have, well, the potential to obviously fill the entirety of this, and then we may want more. So what I'm going to do for now, at least, is keep it here. But Sergio, thank you very much. We're going to drop your diamond in here. And then Zombie Cat Gamer, thank you once again. We're going to drop your gold ingot in here. Don't forget, guys, all you have to do to get on the wall is comment the word farm down below. And if you do that, you'll automatically have a chance to end up on the wall. The first 3 people each episode will end up on the wall, getting a diamond, a gold ingot, and an iron ingot based on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place. So drop the comment down below. Don't forget the word farm. And let's get back to building. Now, I'm thinking for the next farm, I want to do the cactus farm. And I actually want to do that a little bit differently to how we did some of the others. I was thinking it could be really cool to have a kind of greenhouse. I think I've got everything that we need now. I'm just not sure where we want to put this to. I was thinking it could go over there originally. Potentially we make a kind of bridge across at some point. Or once we have the harbour spanning around here, we could sort of, yeah, have a bridge over to there. Though I'm actually thinking maybe this area is quite good because eventually we're going to terraform this too and take out all of the sand. Yeah, I'm going to put it here. I know we've got the turtles behind there as well, but I think this is probably the best spot we have. And when we end up terraforming it down the line, I think it will all be just fine. Now, I do need to knock out quite a considerable amount of sand here, so I'm going to tear all of this down and then we'll start plotting out exactly where we want everything to go. So the actual cactus farm itself has a 8-wide kind of tray, and this is going to have all the water in, and then it will have cactus, blank, cactus, blank, cactus. And what that will basically do is we'll put some water in here, and it's just going to help flush all of the items straight towards the hoppers we've got, and then into our chests as well. I don't know if you guys have built many like greenhouses in your builds. This is a first for me. It's not been something I've tried, and I'm pretty excited. I don't do a lot of building with large amounts of glass, but hey, we'll see how this turns out, right? So what we're going to do is drop the sand down for the cactus itself. And somewhere along the way here, I've actually miscalculated. I mean, it wouldn't be one of my builds if I hadn't miscalculated. That's all working perfectly now. And pretty much ready to set up the hoppers. So the hoppers are going to go in the bits where there's no water, because that then means once the items are pushed in here, they go into the chest. And I'm actually going to start the cactuses growing because we need more than I got. I mean, I did actually get more, but I turned some of it into dye, which was probably the wrong way around to do it. And the sun, I just love these shaders. If anyone's interested, I'm running the complimentary Reimagined, I believe it's called. I know somebody asked previously what they were. They really do help bring it just a bit more to life. There's probably I don't know if anyone knows a cheaper way to do this with less hoppers, but I probably need to make it smaller if that's the case. And I kind of like having it this big. So, I mean, it's a small downside for the upside of having an extra row of cactus, which I don't mind too much. And we literally have the perfect amount of hoppers. I didn't count or anything, so that is pretty lucky. And just before we go any further with the cactus farm, last episode I asked you guys what we should name the dogs, and Zombie Cat Gamer gave a brilliant idea for what we could do. So we are going to be naming these two guys Bread and Butter. And I think we're going to have a UB Butter and a UB Bread. So there we go. Thank you so much again, Zombie Cat Gamer, for commenting, and I really, really love the names. So these guys are going to be sticking around for a very long time in this world. Don't forget that as the episodes go on, I will be asking for more ideas on what we can call the various mobs in our world. So if you haven't already, press subscribe, drop a like, and don't forget to comment. Now let's get back into the build. Gonna need something to fence these in. The actual walls of the greenhouse could probably just go around like this. I'm sorry, buddy. I know you want to watch, but you're going to need to move. All right, can I nudge this guy? Come on. Come on. There we go. All right, we'll pop those in. He's so keen to get over here. There's just something compelling him. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe we should name that one. If you've got any ideas what we could name him, drop it down in the comments below and I'll grab a name tag for him. Right, let's break this. Don't get any smart ideas, buddy. I can definitely feel this coming together. I mean, I'm kind of winging this one a bit more. I know I've got some inspiration to go off, but yeah, I'm kind of just trusting myself and seeing how it ends up. So if I'm correct, the reason that you cross these over is because if the cactus lands on the original cactus it's from, it doesn't break. But if it lands on a cactus that isn't it, then it does. I could be wrong. Okay, so finally the rain has stopped, and what I'm going to get doing is starting on the roof of this, just so I can see how it's going to connect. Oh, and we just got our first piece of cactus as far as I can tell. I really think this is starting to come together pretty nicely now. We're in a good spot, and once I get all the glass put on, obviously we do have to terraform the area around it, and that's going to add a lot of character to the build, so that is something we're just going to have to wait on. But once that's done as well in the future, this whole place is just going to look awesome. And the best part is it's just going to keep on running even while we're doing other things in the town. And before you know it, we're going to have plenty of cactus that we can use. I must be in like monsoon season in my world, because it has rained probably 3 times today. And I don't think it's ever rained this much while I've been on this world. Yeah, we'll add some of that in later on. But now I'm just going to check how this is looking. And it is looking pretty darn nice. Now, I wanted to give you guys a quick update on the greenhouse. I got very carried away, and I might have sort of got into a flow state with it. And, well, let's just say it is pretty much complete. So we're going to jump back into it, and I will show you around the completed greenhouse. I really hope you guys like it. Definitely, if you have any ideas, drop them below and I'll take some tips forward, because we may end up changing it in the future. But for now, why don't I show you what I've been up to? And that is the greenhouse all finished. Now, I tried to commentate through as much as I could and ended up getting into a bit of a flow state and changed a few things. I'm still not super happy with how the... Excuse me. Still not super happy with how the roof has turned out. I might change some of it. I just couldn't get the arch right on it, and I think it has gone a little bit too rigid, but I don't mind it. It still ties in with the rest of the builds, even though we have obviously got all the glass on it, because it is our greenhouse, of course, but it ties in with all the others. We still have the white wood on there. We have our oak beams, oak interior. Now, I do have to do the flooring in here, and I actually need to place the rest of the cactus, which has steadily been growing since I started this, so we should be able to fill most of these now. I still have the issue of this guy and what to do with him. I think we're going to keep him here for now. Just need to see if I can get onto the back bit here to place the cactus, and I'll leave the others for the time being. But I'm pretty happy with how this has turned out. The exterior is really nice. I've got a good few lanterns on there, a bunch of leaves. I might try and add a few spruce trapdoors around. I'm not sure where we should put them on this. Maybe just like outside the door could be nice. We could put a few around here. Maybe put them on like the bottom pieces. Overall, it is... This guy really loves me. He just can't get enough of me. Yeah, this looks really good. And I think that ties in pretty nicely. So, yeah, I think that's where we're going to leave it for the greenhouse. If anyone has any ideas or where I can look for some inspiration on how to fix the kind of arched top, then I'd absolutely love to hear from you. Just pop a comment down below and I'll get on that pretty much straight away, because I do think it needs a little bit of work, but I do not know how to fix it. I do not have the Minecraft know-how, and I'm going to leave it in your guys' hands because I trust you guys. You probably know better than I do. So let me know what you think and how I can improve it. And for now, we're going to leave it just run and gather up all of the cactus that it can. And then in the future, we'll come back to this one, but I'm pretty happy with it. Obviously, once we terraform and all of this is dirt, that's going to look so much different. And then we'll probably decorate the interior properly, but I think for the most part, it's just going to be a case of giving the wood flooring around here, which won't take me much time to do. And that's about it. So with that said, I'm going to head back over to the base and we'll have a little discussion around what we're going to get up to next. And with the cactus farm done, I think it's time that I do a little bit of tidying up and maybe some of the terraforming that I mentioned earlier. I'm going to clean up the top of the bamboo farm here, and then I'm also going to get terraforming around the cactus farm. And when that's done, it's going to be time to move on to the final farm of the video. So let's jump into a time lapse, and then I will see you very shortly to jump into the final farm of the video. And if you have any idea at this point what it is, comment down below because we're about to start making it. See you soon. Well, we finished all of the terraforming and fixing the bamboo farm, so I think that means it's time to tell you what the final farm is. And if you haven't guessed by now, it is the pumpkin farm. We're going to be finally putting a building around this and adding in the automation system so that this is going to run consistently. We don't need to worry about it anymore, and that is going to really help us with our villager trades. And need I remind you why we need those? So I'm going to jump straight into this, and we're going to get this final farm of the day up and done. So I'll see you in the final time lapse of this video. Let's go. And just like so, we are done with the pumpkin farm. Now, I've done a bunch of terraforming as well. As you can see, we have all the trees put in here. We have our spruce trees, birch trees, and I'll show you some cherry trees later on. You can already see one over there by the bamboo farm. The pumpkin farm itself, I'm really happy with how this has turned out. It looks like a bit of a pumpkin, and that's the vibe I was going for. We probably could make the roof a little bit taller. The pumpkins are collecting in here. I do need to check on how it's all going because we only had 4 observers. We're kind of running low on resources, but we will be outfitting this with even more soon, so don't worry about that. And if we come back down here, what I wanted to show you guys is everything else we've been working on this episode, because I have done a bunch more terraforming. So if we quickly go around here, we obviously need to put some more pathways in so that we can get from A to B. And just down here, we have our lovely pathway which leads to the bamboo farm. We've got all our oak, our birch, and you can see these cherry blossoms, which I'm super happy with how this one's grown. It actually grew across the pathway. And then when you get to here, you can kind of see the bamboo farm emerging out from under the trees as you go up to it. I am wondering whether we should make this into a bigger tower, something a little bit more sort of, yeah, overarching and just all-encompassing on the area, because at the minute it does blend in a little bit too well with the trees, I think. And it might even be a case that this pathway needs to open up just a few blocks earlier so that you can kind of start to see it as you're coming out of here. And that might be all that we need to do. So let's just do that. Yeah, I think that definitely helps because as we get out of here, we can take a good old look up at the bamboo farm. Now, why don't we go check out the other farms that we made this episode, and I'll show you the terraforming that we've done to them. Pretty sure I just had an enderman inside of the sugarcane farm, but we're going to ignore that for now. And what I'm thinking is next episode, we're going to be fully focused on the iron farm. We're going to start building this and focusing on terraforming all of the area that we have left. And that should set us up pretty nicely to then start expanding our town going forward. Now, here we have the run up to the bamboo farm, and I'm really happy with how this turned out. I have a few plans to turn these doors into copper doors, and then also to add some cobbled deep slate up on the roof. I think that could be a good look for it. Also got around 2 stacks for each of these now, so we're running on gas, and I think that's going to help with villager trading pretty soon when we get a shepherd up and running. But absolutely love how this is looking, and especially once you get to here, you can really see it emerge out from all of the trees. Let me know what you do think about these trees though, because I don't know if I'm doing too many. I really like the idea of this being kind of like a forest town, really being encapsulated by all of these trees, and then we have these like viewpoints to look at all of the builds. Now, if we follow this pathway, it still needs a little bit of work doing to it, but we end up over at our kelp farm, which I have connected up to the back of the villager trading hall. And if you come down here, we have all of the trees we've put in, all of the pathways. The kelp farm's working as expected. And I really like how when you're walking past, you can look over and see the kelp on the outside that looks as if it's kind of growing for the farm. So that's pretty much everything we've been up to this episode. There's been a lot of building going on, a lot of time lapses, and a lot of terraforming done. I just wanted to ask some of these guys, what did you think about the build? Yeah. Yeah, no, that I totally agree with that. You agree too? It looks great. That's spiffing. Unanimous decision, I see. So yeah, everyone seems super happy with the direction we've taken this. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below, but I am really, really happy with how it's turned out. So again, if you got this far, comment the word farm down below to end up on the wall, just like everybody else. And if you got this far, thank you so much. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It really, really helps me, and it will help me to end up in your recommended videos going forwards. Don't forget to click the bell icon if you want notifications. But for now, guys, I'm going to see you in the next one. Bye.